Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Your Absolute Mind, the podcast where we dive into the intricate world of mental health and explore what it takes to become mentally resilient in today's fast-paced world. My aim is to help you navigate the often overwhelming world of mental health and come out the other side with a positive mindset. Now in today's episode, we're going to be discussing a topic that touches the core of our life, the concept of options, personalisation, and the intriguing intersection of these within our mental health. Think about this for a moment. We live in an era of abundant choice. We're encouraged to seek uniqueness, to personalise everything from our clothes to our coffee orders. It's common now to be standing behind someone in a coffee shop and they ask for an extra hot doubled shot latte with soy milk and a shot of hazelnut and make it caffeine free too. Now this choice tends to spill over into how we talk about our mental health as well. People speak of my anxiety, my depression, as though these challenges are something uniquely theirs, a tailored suite of personal experiences. Now on one hand, this personalisation helps us to claim our individual experiences. It allows us to express and to communicate the specific symptoms that we're grappling with. It makes us feel heard, makes us feel understood and validated. However, on the flip side, there's a darker aspect to this, which is option anxiety. We are constantly under pressure to make the perfect choice from a vast array of options. This stress of making the right choice can lead to decision paralysis, even in the context of our mental health. And that is not a place that anyone wants to be in. So we find ourselves in a paradox. While personalisation seems appealing, it might be causing more harm than good. So could the solution then be standardisation? I know it sounds counterintuitive. How can something as deeply personal, as nuanced as mental health be standardised? But bear with me. Now, I've been a therapist for well over 10 years, and I can honestly say there are no new problems. Standardisation, in the sense of a foundational structure or routine, can act as a scaffold. It offers stability and consistency, which is often what our mind craves when it's lost in the labyrinth of mental health challenges. Standardised routines like regular exercise, a consistent sleep schedule, or structured mindfulness practices can provide a base level of mental health care that benefits almost everyone. They can take the edge off option anxiety by limiting the amount of choices that we have to make every day. This creates a space for us to focus on healing and on growth. So, the question is, are we yearning for personalisation when what we need is a bit more standardisation? Let's delve into this as we seek to redefine what mental health means in a world full of options. But before we dive in, a quick reminder. If you're struggling with mental health issues, please reach out to a mental health professional. This podcast is a resource for informational purpose, but it's no substitute for professional help. So let's move on and let's think about the concept of standardisation in a broader context. Many societal structures and successful organisations have thrived on standardisation, offering up some compelling arguments for its effectiveness. So let's start with the idea of the military. Now, when you think of a soldier, what comes to mind? Discipline, order, unity, all underpinned by standardised procedures, right? Now, do you think that they get to ask for a specific diet because they prefer it? Do you think they're allowed to follow a different exercise program? Of course not. The scene of progress has been mapped and set out for them already. A soldier's life is based on a well-defined structure, from their daily routines to the uniforms that they wear. This standardization forms the backbone of their strength. It enables them to function effectively as a unit and to reduce decision fatigue. Again, think of our schooling system. The curriculum is structured and uniform, imparting the same foundational knowledge to all students, thereby setting a standard of education. However, I do believe there is some work to do in educating our children for the new future, but the principle still remains. Or consider the corporations that implement standardised uniforms. This reduces the mental load of what to wear today, and it creates a sense of unity throughout the staff. In the business world, standard processes and procedures are a norm, irrespective of the industry. Why? Because they yield consistent and repeatable results, reducing errors, improving efficiency, and making problem solving easier. Let's take a familiar example. Let's look at Apple. One of the most successful tech companies, they follow a philosophy of limited choice. Unlike other manufacturers who offer an array of options, Apple sticks to a few carefully curated products, and this approach, rather than hindering them, has led to their unmatched success. So what can we take away from these examples? It's that standardisation is not an enemy of progress or individuality. It's a tool, a system that can help to guide us towards consistent results, reduce the anxiety of choice, and provide a stable foundation. So coming back to mental health, a foundational set of core mental health tools and principles can provide a similar stability. Now, we're not talking about a one-size-fits-all solution. It's about having a starting point, a baseline that can guide our journey towards improved mental health. So this could include universally beneficial practices such as regular exercise, maintaining a balanced diet, getting sufficient sleep, practising mindfulness, and staying socially connected. Now, these aren't novel, they're not fancy techniques, they're simple, straightforward actions that anyone can begin to implement. The goal here isn't to customize every tiny aspect of your mental health journey. It's about maintaining simplicity and consistency. As we've discussed, an overflow of options can breed anxiety, but simplicity allows for action, and consistent action prevents anxieties. It's the action of waking up and going for a run or a walk each day, even if it's just for a few minutes. It's the action of consciously including healthier foods in your diet. The action of practicing mindfulness for a few minutes every single day. These consistent, repetitive actions can set the stage for building a positive mental health framework. Remember, it's not about personalising every little detail. It's about finding what works for you within the larger framework of proven, effective strategies. This is the balance we're striving for between personalisation and standardisation. Let's just use the standard tools we have to our advantage and personalise only where it truly matters. Now let's talk about what I consider to be the non-negotiables for maintaining a solid base for mental health. These aren't innovative, they're not fancy ideas, but they're basic practices. And done each day without question, these can have a profound cumulative impact over time. First of all, it's your sleep. The importance of sleep can't be overstated. It's essential to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, sticking to regular wake-up and bedtimes. This practice avoids what's known as the social jet lag, which is the misalignment between your body's internal clock and your social clock. Your sleeping environment should be dark and cool to promote a more restful sleep. Next up is meditation. A simple daily practice can help to keep your mind focused and grounded. Now, this could be a 10-minute morning session or a guided listening before going to bed to calm the mind and prepare it for sleep. Now, there are plenty of resources available online, from guided meditations to ambient sounds, which can all aid in this process. And did I mention Your Absolute Mind app? Now, this is updated daily with a daily quote and a meditation which you can follow along and again, simplify that process. Now, hydration is another non-negotiable. Now, this may sound overly simplistic, but it's essential and its effects are dramatic. Clean water is available to most of us, so keeping a water bottle with you and staying hydrated throughout the day should become a habit. Movement, exercise, doesn't have to be a rigorous workout routine, but the goal is to keep active every day. You could walk, run, dance, play a sport, or even just stretch. The key is to move and not fall into the false narrative that relaxation equates to inactivity. Our bodies are designed to move, and doing so regular promotes both physical and our mental health. And last but definitely not least, ensure that these practices easily fit into your schedule. They need to be convenient and achievable, not something that just adds more stress. Remember that the aim is not to find variation in these daily routines, but to be consistent in practicing these basics. So sleep, meditation, hydration, and movement. Simple, effective, and accessible to all of us. These practices are not about chasing after the new miracle cure for mental health, but about establishing a solid foundation. And by focusing on these, we can begin to combat option anxiety and establish routines that are easy to follow, that are beneficial to our mental health. So let's keep it simple. Let's stay consistent, and let's make a positive change in our mental health. Remember, it's the small steps taken every day that lead to the big changes. In our quest for a healthy mind, let's not forget the power of simplicity and consistency. As I say to all of my clients, once you have the foundation set, then we can work on the other areas that you might be struggling with. And with that, we've come to the end of today's podcast. Let's continue to make mental health a priority and remember that taking care of ourselves doesn't have to be complicated. Thanks for joining me today on Your Absolute Mind, and until next time, stay healthy and stay resilient.